welcome everyone. We're in a smaller community than the GenAI risk on misinformation, but it's still very important. So we are, for people who don't know, so CheckStep, we are a trust and safety platform. We help online communities to be safe and compliant. We have a lot of regulators today. But what this session is about sharing the experience of someone who did not know about anything about online safety and trust and safety, built from scratch an online platform with a lot of interactions between users, between themselves. This is Octopus Community, and Helen, the founder and COO, will present what is Octopus.
Sure, okay. Hi everyone, so I'm Helen. Octopus Community, we're quite a young company. It exists since like 2 years. And it's a B2B software company, so we do provide a software for mobile apps and websites to allow them to easily build and run their own branded social network within their apps or within their websites. So you can imagine, take your favorite app on your phone if you like music. Everybody who doesn't like music? Okay, so you probably have like Deezer or Spotify. So imagine like a special page section of the app where you have like a content feed where people can post message, react, answer to each other. They have a user profile. You can talk about playlists and artists, these kind of things. So that's what we do. That's the kind of software that we provide. So we do all the design and technical stuff behind, but we also do what comes with community, the kind of services that are needed. And one that is not optional, in our opinion, is moderation.
And can you name some of the customers and the size of the communities that you're managing?
Yeah, sure. So today we have something around like 35 live communities and in very different verticals. So we do have like media communities in the 20 Minutes app, for example. We do have like a job search community, Hello Work. We do have like apps more niche. We do have like horse racing fans communities, but also bigger apps like ones that are targeting some audience like pregnant women or for... So it can be all kind of sizes, and we do have more surprising ones. So we do have a community in a VPN app. Let's say that privacy is quite important for those guys. But we also have an app where people try to quit their porn addiction. So you can understand that moderation in all those communities can't be the same.
Among all these communities, which one is the most demanding in terms of online safety?
I would say it's maybe the VPN one, but it could be another topic.
So let's take the VPN. So tell us about the first OMG, I will be polite, but basically the whole shit moment where you realize that moderation is not just about deleting bad comments.
Yeah.
But before, I will ask the audience. So what do you think it was? Spam, abuse, legal risk? Abuse? Legal risk? Everything? No, you have to pick one. So what it was? What was the first big discovery?
We launched this community, so it's quite a big app. They have millions of users, so daily it was around like 30,000 people visiting the community, and they're mainly American students trying to bypass their college Wi-Fi. They were so happy to be all together, and so it was some kind of like huge wave, like a tsunami of messages that I couldn't understand. I speak English a little bit, as you can, but it was like I couldn't understand anything just because it was American slang, like teenage student slang, and it was all about TikTok trends and this kind of stuff. So it's like, okay, I speak the language, but I don't really speak the language, so that will be harsh to moderate a community that I can't understand. I do now, but it was quite a challenge.
So what was the type of abuse that was the most relevant?
Well, actually, I thought that all the messages were abusive, but no. they were not. No, the maybe weirdest thing that in the US at the time, well, still now, the politics is a bit weird. So it was more messages referring to all the Israel-Gaza situation, and then it could really roll very quickly to weird comments about Nazis and Jews. And I will not quote them, but it was more, okay, how did we start there and there, and what do we do about it? It was quite easy, actually, the decision. But the thing was also, okay, I am sure that all the other content that I'm not sure I understand, is it safe, or is it like a hidden message to say something that is not appropriate?
So you didn't know anything about content moderation, so how did you go about it? What did you do? How did you decide the policy? What to accept, what to not accept?
Actually, even before launching the product, we talked with a lot of people from the trust and safety world, because we didn't know anything about it, but we knew that we didn't know anything about it. So yeah, it was really about talking, learning. We did have some consultants also helping us build the whole thing. You also helped us build the whole thing at the very beginning. So that was more about that. And then it's really about learning every day what is okay and what is not. So yeah, it's like an everyday challenge.
So I asked the audience to do an example of a moderation of a post on Octopus Community, VPN. A user posts, this product is a scam and your company is a joke. Okay, I repeat, this product is a scam and your company is a joke. Keep or remove? So who votes for keep? 6, 7, 8, 9. Who votes for remove? 2. What would you do?
Actually, it's not up to me. It's up to the brand. Because what's very special is that we're not talking about having a community like on Facebook, TikTok, and you don't know who's accountable for what's published. And it's really about a community that is within an app, for a brand. And so it's up to the brand to do what they want to do. We discuss, we advise, and then they can decide, and we put all the systems in place. So some will keep, some will remove. What we would advise in that situation is that we are able, thanks to AI, which is also what we're discussing today, we are able to flag content that has some specificities. So for example, like unsatisfied customer. So we can flag this kind of content, and we can then provide some answers, appropriate answers to this content. So I think the best answer here is like to keep, but to very quickly, almost immediately answer and show as a brand that you are here, that you are not removing this kind of messages. It builds trust also, and if your answer is appropriate and you are here to help the customer, actually it will be positive for you. So that's what we advise.
Okay, so you're a little bit like a review website, Trustpilot or something like that, where you keep also positive and negative feedback, even if the person who pays is actually the customer.
Once again, it's up to the brand.
Understood. So you had to do that in multiple languages. So how do you deal with multiple cultures? You mentioned slurs or slang. How do you deal with multiple languages?
Well, first, that's one of the strengths of AI. It can speak any language, so it can analyze and flag anything. It can be in French, English, Swedish, Turkish. That's the kind of language that we do have in our communities. So, well, first in CheckStep we do have like a multi-language translation option, so it helps a lot. But yeah, it's not about language anymore, actually. Once again, I spoke English, but I couldn't understand what was written. So it's really, with AI, it's not a problem, it's not a barrier. So we can launch a community in any country, and I think like a few years ago, it wouldn't be the same.
So you can trust translation, automatic translation?
Yeah, actually. Sometimes you double check, but you can. And if it sounds weird, you just once again check again. So it's not AI alone. It's always, and you guys will know better than me, but it's always about the human that oversee everything. It's like we don't let AI do all the work and let it go. So we always have someone overseeing what's going on.
Okay, so I'll do now a few questions about AI versus human. You know, so if you, for detecting hate speech, would you use AI or human?
Actually, I thought AI was quite good at it, so more AI.
Understanding sarcasm.
Well, it's not always a reason of moderation, sarcasm. So AI is a little bit less good, but actually it's improved.
You might still want to detect it, even if it's not for moderation. Handling cultural nuance in slang.
I'm more on the optimistic side of AI, thinking that it can do a lot. It can do a lot of harm, but it can do a lot of good. And it's improving every day. So even this kind of subtle content, it can be handled well with AI, actually.
On more about the brand perception, so your customers have different brands, so how good is AI at deciding the brand tone?
It's not good if you don't explain. So it's also why we need a team and people to tell AI what to do. You need to explain the context. You need to explain what's going on in the community. Once again, I was talking about this quitting porn addiction community. Obviously, you can say words in this community that you can't in others. And that's a thing that you need to explain to AI. So we do have specific rules for each community. It can't be just the one rule for all. It doesn't work that way.
It wouldn't be able to handle that, yeah, maybe. But it's all a question of prompting, of course.
Actually, yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about your visions for communities, because brands are often afraid of communities. What do you have to tell them? What's your vision?
They are very afraid of communities, but they are very keen to have their own. One thing that always comes out in our discussion with clients, prospects, is what about moderation? Like, not a single call without people asking, what about moderation? It's like they're very scary, and they're right to be. So it's what we wanted to build from scratch is really like communities that would be safe for users, obviously. That's also the perk of creating your own company. You can decide what you want to do, what you want to build. And so if you want internet to be a safer space, you can build a product that allows that. But they also need a place that is safe for the brand. So it's really about reassuring them about how it works. We can just also say them, you can go check our live communities and see how it works. And they want to know, and they are happy to know that they can also really customize each of the role. Once again, some will accept people who are not satisfied with the brand, and some won't. So it's really up to them and their, what they want to do. But it's customizable. So.
And so what's unique with Octopus is that they started by safety from scratch, from the beginning, and it's quite surprising. Most of the time you try to create a product, and then you say, oh, it's actually not good. So please be honest. When did it go too far? When did you actually over-moderate? Or when did you realize, actually, maybe I don't need all this safety in place from the beginning?
Well, maybe during the first months. The first communities we had were like in a fitness app, a running coaching app, and the communities, they're very kind. People that just love each other, help each other. So we had all this moderation tool in place with all those rules and all those people we talked about, and we hired someone to help us, and nothing happened, like nothing. Like it was all about love, and so at this point I said, okay, maybe I misjudged the situation. But then the VPN app came, so it was all good. It was not done for nothing.
Okay, good to know. I'd love to have one or two questions, maybe, from the audience. I mean, we are a small group.
We are,
go ahead.
As it's being recorded.
It's recorded, of course.
Thank you so much. This was very interesting and insightful. I just wanted to ask you, from the perspective of your company and the challenges that you might encounter while you provide the service, and kind of mediate the relationship between the platform and the user, if I'm having it right. So, for example, you mentioned earlier that your company is a joke, someone saying that. So you leave it up to the brand, right, as you said. However, you are, I guess, a principles, based and driven company. You have certain values. Are there elements and points, perhaps, where you find it hard to uphold the decision of the platform in the end?
I'm a strong believer in freedom of speech. So if people are not satisfied, I would like them to be heard and answered. And because it means that there is an issue, so there is something that can be done, so the issue can be addressed. So far, I didn't have ethical problems with our clients about rules that they wanted us to implement So it's an easy question so far. Maybe it will be different at some point. But yeah, it's also about, and once again, you know better than me, but for me it was really also about, okay, I don't have an opinion anymore. I'm not talking about what's good and bad, but more like, I don't know, in our media community, you have the very far right people and the very far left people all talking together, talking sometimes. And it's not about what I think, it's about, okay, can they talk about that while being respectful? So no big ethical problem so far, but let's wait a little bit. But we do have the luxury of, we could just say that we can't work with a brand, because we are accountable for what is published in the community. So we will never let even on a business perspective. I'm not talking about personal perspective, but on a business perspective, it's not sustainable for a company to let anything be said in a community just because it could mean the end of us. So we can, yeah.
Any other question? Because I think that, just to conclude, that's one of the big things. So for a long time, at the beginning of internet, social media like Facebook swallowed all the communities because this was moderated on Facebook badly. And now it's better, and people are complaining that they disagree with the moderation rules of Facebook. And for a long time, communities were on Facebook and on Instagram, but now there is a revival of this community because it's cheaper to build software to build communities, and so we see a rise of community-led companies, and congratulations again for starting Octopus. Thanks everyone. I think we just hit 20 minutes, and see you.
Yeah, you're all good. I did have a question, Ellen, though. So as a brand or a product or business comes to you and they're interested in building a community, can you share a little bit about the process you're going through with them to get them to understand the kind of moderation you're doing and what they are expected to receive from you and what they're expecting to see or not, so that they get comfortable with your kind of moderation?
So basically we can handle everything. They can ban messages if they want, but they don't have to, but they have the power to, but they don't have to. So we do everything. So that's the first thing. Usually it's good for them. And then they have access to all the rules that we put in place. So we do have this huge, massive pack of basic rules that are used for almost all our communities. Well, harassment or insults, it's not okay in any communities. So we do have like a basis, and they do have access to that. And they also then share what they think will need to be moderated. So they usually are quite good at imagining what people will say in, I don't know, negative comments about their brand, or they can imagine these kind of things, but there are always surprises that they can't imagine. And so that's really like a learning process, especially when the community is launching, and that's what we explain as well. We can, in a matter of minutes, implement a new rule, and so it will moderate all the type of content that this rule is about. So it's like a very reactive tool and process. We just go into the check-step platform and we prompt, and well, we have to test and try and test and try again, but still, like the very first layer of moderation will be up and running in minutes. So it's also very reassuring for them, knowing that if anything happens, we can, you know, react right away and prevent the shitstorm to go on.
And the AI, does the client provide the information so you can teach the AI what to look for, right?
Yeah, they explain us, and then it's up to us to prompt the AI in the right way and making sure that it flags the content properly.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Thank you.
See you this afternoon.
Yep, we're already at lunch. What can you do with time? So thank you for sticking around in the morning. We will start in this room at 1:45, and the other room will start at 2, as they have a longer session going on right now. But otherwise, enjoy lunch or the break, coffee, tea, fresh air, or not. Up to you. But enjoy, and we'll see you back here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, you too.